Today I'm going to talk about filmmaking essentials, what is more important than what you'll see online as essential gear if you want to be a filmmaker. Yeah, especially if you don't have deep pockets, or better said, if you're broke. And I know for those of you just starting out, looking at tens of thousands of dollars of other people's gear they're pushing as essential doesn't help you at all. But of course they won't tell you that. I'll tell you why, and we'll talk about what's far more important. That's coming up. I just finished sneezing. Welcome to episode 36 of Hollywood Unapologetic. My name is Orlando Delbert. Today I want to talk about filmmaking essentials. What is more important than essential gear if you want to be a filmmaker, especially if you're broke? You know, I look online and I see so much focus is on buying this and that camera, set of LEDs, lenses, rigs, and everything that you can think of under the sun. Without a doubt, your equipment is important and you want the best you can afford. But a lot of information that's in magazines and blogs and on YouTube is really a disservice for young, aspiring filmmakers. Sure, that statement is going to piss off a lot of people, and I really don't care. Because what is more important, giving money to the tech manufacturers for gear you don't really need, or in some cases become obsolete and unsupported within 2 years, the same manufacturers that are paying for the ad time in the monthly trade magazines you read, or the content creators on YouTube that are getting paid for all the views their videos showcasing the equipment they currently have to young cats like you who just can't afford them. The reality is this: yes, having gear that works for your needs is important. Absolutely. But when I see shots of what they have and do the math, it pisses me off because it's not fair to you. A large majority of you watching those videos don't have the 5 figures to buy all this stuff, nor even need to when you're first starting out. Not to mention, camera technology evolves so quickly. Focusing on their current camera body and their lenses they have invested thousands of dollars on, it's just not going to help you at all. Don't get me started on what you need for post-production. That's money, that's even more money that most of you don't even mention anything about. If you have a smartphone or an iPad, you can start shooting today. There are inexpensive rigs and add-on lenses available and have been for years. Are they going to be as good as a Panaflex Platinum 35mm film camera or a Red Monstro? I think that's how you say it. 8K VV camera? Of course they're not. If you feel you need to learn filmmaking by watching videos about camera gear online, guess what? You don't need most of it, nor can you afford it, and everything else needed for the digital workflow. Another thing not mentioned is that depending on what they're going to shoot is going to determine the gear they have. Yes, they'll have a lighting kit, several lenses, gaffer's tape, maybe some foil, C47s and stingers, but did they mention that when you have a paid gig, you can go out and purchase or most certainly rent whatever you need for that specific project? No, of course not. As someone who's going to be learning the basics of composition and lighting, you don't need anything better than your smartphone, especially like the ones available today that you could shoot at different frame rates and even shoot at 4K. My old neighbor owned an award-winning special effects film studio. He owned a proprietary real-time compositing system that cut out expensive processes involved in the post-production side. And to say it was disruptive technology is an understatement. One year, some of his films the studio did work for were nominated for an Academy Award. He was given a technical Oscar, which he didn't accept because he felt any of the body of the work that was nominated should have won. But a lot of what was happening out in the public eye was just political. A lot of what's taught in school today, and for many years now, whether for operating a camera, picture cutting, visual effects, and so many other parts of the filmmaking process is about buying this or that piece of equipment and pushing this or that button. The whys in a lot of cases are rushed over, if even covered at all. Not only was that some of my experience when I studied film and digital media decades ago, but more recently I was reminded of that when I was asked to put together a curriculum for a film school in LA. They wanted me to base a lot of what I would cover on these 3 basic books on Adobe software that almost every school and every other how-to book was written about. And in almost all of those cases, none of the whys are explained with any depth. Please take the time to learn about the process because in the end, all of this gear talked about are just tools. Much of it you don't need as they're pushing it to you. The number one tool you need is between your ears. Yep, that's all you really need. You need to learn the process of filmmaking first and foremost. You need to learn the basics of lining up your shot and composition. You need to learn the basics of color temperatures and how light falls off, is absorbed, and reflects. You need to learn the basics of sound so you get good audio from your players, avoid background noise, and null points to avoid canceling out what you're capturing. You need to know basics of editing, which in the beginning is going to be only cut anyway. You need to learn the basics of story structure because so many scripts floating around out there are just horrid. You need to learn how to create your shot list and shooting schedule so you can prepare for the people, places, and things you're going to need for the shoot. You need to learn budgeting so you know how much you're going to need to get your projects made. You're going to need to learn about contracts, distribution, and music licensing. Every single thing mentioned here, and there's more, is far more important than the 5 or 10 pieces of gear every filmmaker needs you're reading about or watching a video about. Use what you have right now. If you have a smartphone, use that. Learn how to line up the shots you want. Use the natural lighting that's available and bounce light with a white card you can pick up for a couple of bucks. Always get some inexpensive work lamps or even heat lamps from a hardware store if you need more. As you get better, you'll start asking yourself questions like, I want to get a better camera than my phone. What should I get? By the time you're at that point, you'll be secure enough in what you're doing to know what style of shooting you're comfortable with. You'll know if you need to get lavalier or boom microphones. You know if you're going to need to invest in a small lighting kit or a large one, and what type. You'll know how much money you have so that you can look at DSLR cameras 3/4 or full frame. And also by then, you will have read enough reviews on cameras within your price range so you can make decisions on lenses because they most likely will be with you far longer than what the camera body you're considering. I don't ever want to discount the recommendations people have taken the time to put together, but as I've already mentioned for many of you, that information is not what you need right now. Take some time and watch some films, especially classics and film noir. Look at directors like Stanley Kubrick, Alfred Hitchcock, Orson Welles, David Lean, Wes Anderson, and some of the other greats for how they set up their shots, how they blocked the on-camera talent, how the cameras were moved, and how the lighting was done. And these directors work with some of the best cinematographers as well. Make a list and check them out too. Look at how shots are framed and how lighting is used. Get in the habit of reading good scripts. Many shooting scripts can be found online for free. Learn as much as you can about the process because you'll find way before really needing any essential piece of gear that with enough light you can capture really good pictures with the little phone you already have in your pocket right now. The world is greatly influenced by what is seen on the screen and heard on the radio. Let's be the new Hollywood generation. Let's give the world something that will drive everyone to do something bigger and to be a positive difference in this world. Something I'd like to leave you with. We're all in it together. Each and every one of you is an important part of our future. You're important to the lives of those who surround you. You're important to your communities. You're important to our industry. And no matter what, remain optimistic and focused on your goal. Never stop believing in yourself. And always remember, you are the key to your own success. Take a breath. Move forward. Together, let's create a revival, the resurgence of Hollywood, and bring back the auteur to cinema. Be an active part of the new Hollywood generation. You are a representative of the new Hollywood generation. Please subscribe to our channel and share. Don't forget to check out our other videos in the series and follow the link below to check out our swag. Thank you. Join Hollywood Unapologetic in our quest to positively empower one another, to empower our industry as we speak openly to industry professionals about the true pursuit of our Hollywood dreams and in life. Hollywood Unapologetic is a continuation of the Pollyanna's Tear-Soaked Battlefields of Hollywood, a survival guide against the cynicism and the hypocritical series of books designed to help you better prepare for success. We are the new Hollywood generation. Welcome to Hollywood Unapologetic.